absolutely yes, right? Tough question. So, what is the state of your cell phone charge? What is the state of your cell phone charge? About 90%. Hands up. About 90%. Okay. About 50%. About 50%. Oh, okay. That's good. So you can last this session, right? You can last this session. What about your personal state of charge? About 90%. Personal state of charge.
Energy, personal energy.
Personal state of charge. What does that mean? Energy. Yeah. I hope you got some energy in the morning based on Mr. Srikanth's presentation. So about 90%. Raise of hands. About 90%. Whoa. Okay. So about 70%. So we can give some feedback to your cafeteria guys, right? They can add some energy thing to your tea and coffee. No, but still they are saying it's only about 70%. So there are some people who are less than 70%, right? So what can we do to get that energy level up? Can we do something? Okay, let's do a quiz, okay? Let's do a quiz. Yeah? So, there are 3 pillars to Industry 5.0. 3 pillars. First pillar. First pillar. Okay, I'll move away. Move away. So anybody wants a mic to tell them? Huh? First pillar of Industry 5.0. Anybody can raise a hand? First pillar. Okay. Technology. Okay. Who else? First pillar. Okay. Yeah. Oh, round of applause. Can I have your name? Harita. Okay, round of applause for Harita. Okay, what is the second pillar? Okay, how many of you saw the screen? What is the third pillar? Okay, resilience. Okay. But one of the key skills, I don't know whether Srikanth mentioned, he touched a lot upon mindset, right? He did a lot of talk about mindset, skill set, of course for young leaders, managers like you. One of the tool set, yes. One of the key things also is active listening. How many of you have heard the term active listening? Active listening. So, anybody has a mic? Anybody wants to explain what active listening is? What is active listening? Anybody wants to explain? Yeah? Yeah. You want a mic? Abhishek wants to tell? Yeah, presence of mind. Okay, what else? Okay, this is a challenge for your institute, huh? Less number of mics. Okay, so Abhishek, what is active listening? Okay, one is presence of mind. Anybody else? Anybody else? Yes, sir?
Listening consciously.
Listening consciously, yeah, absolutely. What else? What else?
Listening as it is.
Yeah?
As it is.
Okay, listening as it is. Okay, that's good. La. Listening with?
Empty mind.
Empty mind. Okay. So what does empty mind mean?
Without instructions.
What does empty mind mean? Can you explain what does empty mind mean?
Not to have any perceived judgment or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, very good. That's a good attempt. Round of applause for for,
Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi.
okay, Vaishnavi, yeah. What else? Yeah.
Retain information.
Retain information, okay, that's good. Yeah.
Focus.
Focus, okay, very good. Yeah. So, again, one of the key issues today with young people and old people alike is what we call as attention deficit. Have you heard of attention deficit? When you sit in a class, how long is your class typically? 2 hours. Oh, wow. Okay. And so I pity all your professors. I think all your professors are listening. Yeah? Pity the students? Yeah, okay. So attention deficit is, it's very difficult for today's generation to hold attention for more than 20 seconds. Can you believe it? Yeah? And that is why people are not listening now. People are not listening. And one of the key skills we say to engage with anybody else is listening. Yeah? And not just thinking about, okay, what happened tomorrow, what happened yesterday, and what will I do in the evening, looking at your cell phone, and so on. So, why I am bringing this up is, you heard Mr. Srikanth's presentation, I think it was what, 1 hour? 1 hour, and he gave a lot of information, right? Some of you, how many of you are notes takers? People make notes? Paper and pen? Okay. How many of you just make notes on cell phone, smartphone? Okay, very good. And how many of you at least make mental notes? At least mental notes, right? Okay, not bad, huh? Not bad. Yeah. So the thing about attention deficit and active listening and so on. You know how many thoughts we get in a day? How many thoughts we get in a day? Roughly.
Roughly 10.
Yeah?
Roughly 10,000.
Okay, 10,000. One good guess?
Infinity.
Hey, infinity. 16,000. Okay, round of applause for this madam. It's about 50 to 60,000 thoughts in a day. Yeah? Okay, now, one more question. So, there can be 3 categories of thoughts, roughly. Yeah? 3 categories of thoughts. One category of thought is past regrets. Yeah? Oh, I should have done this, I didn't do this well. Oh, I shouldn't have had this conversation with my boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, dad, brother, sister, all that, yeah? And then another category of thoughts. Yeah, one is past regrets, but what can be another category of thoughts? Yeah, future.
Future thinking.
About future. More anxiety. Anxiety about future. Oh, what might happen? Will my job go? Will I get a job? Will I get a good job which will pay 25 lakhs? When will I get this 50 lakhs? That kind of anxiety thoughts about future. What will happen? Etc. And you know how many thoughts are about the present? That is the third category, right? About the present. The research says it's very less. So that's why we have this problem of listening. We don't listen. Because continuously my mind is running and running and running about past or future and not in the present. So when you're not in the present, you don't listen. When you don't listen, you're not able to engage in a conversation. Yeah? Not able to engage in a conversation is one. Not able to engage with the content, whatever the person is presenting. Your prof is talking about, your teacher is talking about, etc. Right? So one of the key things which is important for us in today's world, especially in 5.0, is develop that sense of active listening. Yeah. So is that a good homework to take? How to improve active listening? How to improve active listening? Is that a good homework to take? Okay. So what would be the first step?
Being attention.
What would be the first step? Yeah.
Be present.
Yeah, just be present. Try to be present, right? And then slowly you will develop the skill. Okay, so that's a good enough introduction. How many of you thought, okay, it's a good introduction? Is it a good introduction? Yeah, okay. So let's start the topic. So after the quiz, maybe we'll also touch a little bit about Industry 4.0. Can we touch a little bit about Industry 4.0? Yeah. So now we will also give a little bit of work to our colleagues sitting here, isn't it? Yeah. All right. So let's start with this topic. Maybe we'll start with Sridhar. Yeah. Sridhar, like you come with a lot of experience in IT and telecom, and today you're of course running a lot of, let's say, a large practice in IT infrastructure, right, for large clients in Accenture and so on. How, from an Accenture point of view or from your own point of view, how do you generally define Industry 4.0?
That was the time I was waiting for my engineering admission result, but eventually I joined engineering. But I do have I did try to join so coming to your question, coming from where, and I'll talk more from my personal capacity here. From my experience over all these times, but particularly I would say, there's no particular time frame, but let's say the last up to maybe year or two prior to this. Of course, COVID was a different event, global event in itself, as just ability to survive, and the essential was definitely the focus area. But if a little bit go before COVID, and extended 4.0 to pre-COVID time, most companies were obviously focusing on profitability, focusing on efficiency. More importantly, a lot of focus was on efficiency of any kind. It could be they are going about their business, the way they are approaching the market, the way they wanted to put out their products and so on. So the lot of focus has been, and not to say that this is not a focus now, but efficiency was one of them. But the other big factor I think I would say was also innovation. I think there's a lot of push and pull coming a little bit well into after the .com era, into a very mature phase where you look into companies trying to find that USP, find the differentiating factor. It was not so much about survival, but saying that I will survive by being different. I will survive by and also long-standing companies are focusing more on how can I improve my efficiency and cut some fat. So that is my view. I would say top of my two main factors.
Okay. Thanks, Sridhar. So maybe I'll shift to from an Industry 4.0. A lot of people were talking about, okay, we keep getting data. So we have a lot of smart devices, we keep getting data. So Vinod, what is your view of Industry 4.0 from what you have seen, maybe from an HR point of view or general industry point of view? Yeah.
So if you look at the last 1.5 decades, I'm sure that one area that all of us have experienced an explosion of data, and probably for all the students here, this is the world that you were always born into. For the older guys here, this is the world that we saw evolving in front of us, which is you've seen social media happening, you've seen e-commerce happening, right, and you've seen this entire explosion of data. So, as of today, I don't remember the exact figures, but estimates say that there are probably petabytes of data that are being generated daily because of social media, because of Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube and whatnot. So that's one side of the data explosion that's kind of very visible to us. But more than this, what has fascinated me, so the line of work that I'm into in my current company, we do consulting for data and AI adoption. And I'll just tell you from the point of view of some of the customers that we work with. Right? So for example, one of the customers that we work with, a very innovative company based out of India, based out of Cochin in fact, they are into video-based surveillance for banks. Right? So if you go to a bank branch, or if you go to a bank ATM, now these are obviously high secure environments, they are covered by CCTV, etc. And there are RBI guidelines in terms of the kind of surveillance that is required. If somebody comes to an ATM with the intent of stealing money, then what sort of protection should be available, what sort of alarm systems. There are very clear guidelines from the RBI that talk about this, which all banks have to comply to. About 10 years back, what would happen to these CCTV feeds? So if you look at a typical bank like an ICICI, a Federal Bank, and I work with all of them, the number of ATM branches that they have across the country runs into tens of thousands, lakhs, etc. And about 10 years back, what used to happen is that you have CCTV in all of the ATM centers. There is CCTV feed coming to a central office somewhere, and in the central office you have a large security team comprised of thousands of people looking at these big screens where the footage is being played real time and trying to detect if there is a incident happening, if somebody is trying to steal from a particular ATM, etc. And obviously people realize that this is not sustainable. It is not sustainable for humans to monitor screens real time. And the company that I consult, as I said, which is based out of Cochin, a very young engineering team, they have developed a very beautiful computer vision based solution that really automates this. So rather than a human being having to look at the video feed goes to a computer vision based system and which analyzes patterns of how individuals are behaving in the ATM. It analyzes the pattern difference between somebody who's a regular customer who's coming to the ATM and withdrawing money and going back versus somebody who's loitering around trying to find a vulnerability, etc. And all this happens real time, all this happens using the cutting edge machine learning and AI, etc. So this is, of course, when we think about AI, we think about more of an Industry 5 context, but a lot of the stepping stones for this were set up in Industry 4.0, right? And the stepping stones involved large-scale computerization, digitization of data. It involved the ability to transmit data seamlessly at low cost. So for example, when I talk to the CEO of this particular company that's doing this computer vision solution, one thing that he's very thankful for, he says that fine, I have a good engineering team that's created a good product. But the reason this product succeeded in the Indian market is because of 4G. Okay. It's because of the disruption, for example, that Reliance Jio brought in, by really reducing prices, and I'm sure all of you have benefited from this on your mobile phones as well. And what that meant is that if an ATM is located in a remote location in a village somewhere, you no longer have to wait for physical wired broadband to get to that ATM. All you need to do is have a local gateway there, plug in a 4G SIM, and now that ATM is live. The video feed from that ATM is live. So I think from my perspective, a lot of the Industry 4.0 was around setting up the building blocks, cheap access to data, large amount of central storage of data, digitization and all that, and all that's already done. And now that's a good stepping stone for more advanced use cases in Industry 5 and beyond.
Thanks a lot, for that. So to set that, kind of foundation. But we also touched upon, the technology in terms of 4G and making it available. And, like we have Manjunath here, who has worked with different kinds of telecom companies, disrupted the market. So, Manjunath, if you can share like how telecom industry played a huge role in making Industry 4.0 successful. I think a lot of things came together in the right time, right? So maybe you can share your perspective.
Hi. First of all, I thought somewhere I can leave telecom and I will speak something else, but he picked up from telecom only. Okay. Good that he picked up. So let me set some simple context here. If I ask you, all of you from industry 1.0 to 5.0, you might be little confused. But if I ask you from 2G to 5G, what are the changes which has happened? Okay, there is only one single change which has happened. Okay, I will not get into question and answers here. I can very well do that. But you know, from 2G to 5G, all that it has happened is only one thing. Okay, any guesses? Speed. Okay, so this data speed which we have been saying, the same thing if the context has to be said, that when we started with 3G, because I have worked from 2G till 5G now, I have been saying, I have gone to the seminars and I have said in the open seminar that, you know, after 4G, there cannot be anything called 5G. I have openly said it. Good that, you know, people have forgotten and then there is no recording. Because even I was such naive that, you know, I never understood. It's about 10 years back. I'm not saying that, you know, 10, 15 years back when 4G was not evolved. So such is the situation. The context of 4.4 to 5.4 when we are speaking, it is very important for us to understand when is that industry 4.0 was evolved. Okay, the 4.0 evolvement happened when there was a huge dearth or, you know, huge need for the data to be realized. For example, one conveyor belt is creating so much of a finished product. We do not know, you know, how much it can give the efficiency, how much it can even get into, you know, the number of products, or what happens if some raw material is missing. Okay, that was the context when 4.0 was evolving. So whenever any industrial revolution or any sort of revolution has happened, I could clearly see that that was the need of the hour. While he is asking about 4.0, that was the same era when 3G was evolving. Right? The 4.0, the context was to set every focus on equipment, efficiency, okay? How can I make my organization profitable? How can I do my maintenance with lesser cost? How can I increase the speed, time of the, you know, delivery? So the focus of Industry 4.0 was that, similar to what it is in telecom, where, you know, we were focusing on speed. Okay, so this is the where the, you know, Industry 4.0 target was set. I hope, you know, it made some sense of what I said. Right?
No,
Yeah.
I think thanks a lot, Manjunath, for that. So, I mean, most of you said, okay, we are doing some analytics and so on. And why do you think there is need for so much of analytics? Anybody wants to say, why do you think there is need for analytics?
Ask analytics students.
Yeah, why do you think there is a need for analytics? Anybody wants to answer? Yep. For analytic thinking, yeah, of course you need analytics for analytic thinking, but okay, technology, that's fine. Yeah. What else? You said you have a course, right?
Yeah.
The whole course. So what are some good examples of analytics? Good examples of analytics. Anybody wants to tell? Second year MBA students, come on guys. So one of the key things which we always tell about, especially MBA students, by the way, yeah, because somehow this engineering students, I think all of us are engineering students, right? Engineering students are usually very shy. You agree? Engineering students are generally very shy, but the moment you step into a business school doing MBA, then something happens. You know, that coat, the kind of tie, you know, the kind of uniform which you get, it makes you more confident. And it should make you less shy. Yeah? So, what are some good examples of analytics? What are some of the things what you have studied? Students, not profs. not for profs, the students. Yeah?
Informal to formal.
I said good example of analytics. You're saying, okay, formal to informal, no, informal to, yeah, okay. Good examples of analytics.
worried about the right and left. That is where they are not able to.
Oh, right and left. What is this right and left? What do other things, others think, or? So we'll ask all the profs to just step out for 5 minutes and then they'll come back. Okay, how many of you do Amazon shopping?
Marketing analysis.
Yeah, good. Yeah, go ahead. What do you mean by marketing analytics? So we have a marketing person here, so maybe he'll add to. What do you mean by marketing analytics? Yeah?
Understanding the customer needs.
Yeah. So because you bought this beautiful T-shirt, hey, there are a lot of other customers who bought this pant also. Why did you go buy? What is that? What is that? That is analytics. How are companies using analytics? What are some other examples? Do you study examples in your coursework, or you study examples in your coursework? Yeah? You study examples. Okay. Some more examples?
HR analytics.
Yeah?
HR analytics.
What was that? HR analytics. So what in HR analytics?
For recruitment or hiring.
Yeah, recruitment, hiring,
Selection.
and also maybe when people are leaving,
Yes.
where are the people likely to leave? Okay. What else? Marketing,
Customer.
finance. There are a lot of finance guys, right? What is finance analytics? Example of finance analytics. Risk management. Okay. What is risk management? Risk management. How many of you use credit cards? Again, a tough question. Huh? What? Yeah. Have you heard of fraud analytics? Credit card? Yeah, that's a big thing in finance. How likely is a credit card transaction fraudulent or not? Is the question. And based on all the data, somebody can say, oh, this seems to be a fraudulent transaction. Right? All this is because what our colleague said, a lot of data being available today, and you can run analytics on that, right? Okay, so are you okay to move to 5.0? Are you guys okay, or want to stay in 4.0? No, 5.0. Okay. So the first pillar of 5.0, can you recall? Come on, guys. Okay, human centricity. Okay, anybody wants to tell what comes to their mind when we say human centricity? What is so human about it? Huh? Oh my God. Who said that? Oh, okay. Can you please elaborate? Abhishek, right? Yeah. Can you please elaborate?
Human being without except their emotions.
Okay. Okay, so how many of you agree with Abhishek? Can you raise your hands? Okay, how many of you vehemently say no to Abhishek? Oh, you didn't hear? Okay. Sorry.
Replacing human being except emotions and empathy.
Accept or accept?
Except.
Accept, okay. Replacing human beings.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is human centricity. Okay, so you heard what Abhishek said? Yeah.
Collaboration with human and technology.
Collaboration with human and technology. Okay, good. What else?
Way of designing products and technologies according to human needs.
Round of applause for this. Shaheen. Fantastic response about human centricity from Shaheen. Right? So it is keeping the person in the middle, human in the middle, and designing your products and services. That is Industry 4.0, by the way. We haven't even come to 5. Yeah? So we'll spend a little bit of time on human centricity. It's an important thing, and it's in between 4 and 5. Yeah? So we'll hear some of the views from our panelists. We'll start with maybe. What could be some of the key thoughts from your side when we use the word human centricity?
So let me give you a slightly different or interesting thought to think about. So give me a shout first. What are some of the most cutting edge innovations in AI that you have heard about so far? ChatGPT? Yeah. LLMs broadly, large language models broadly. What else? Gamma. Yeah. Midjourney, somebody mentioned. Right? Gemini. Yeah. Okay. So keep all these things in mind. Okay. Keep your ChatGPTs and Gamma and Midjourney and Gemini and Claude and all that in mind. Okay. Now let's look at it this way. The idea of any technology at the end of the day should be to make our life easier, isn't it? To help us live a better quality of life. Now, all of us, irrespective of whether you are a student, if you are one of the esteemed guests sitting here, you could be a Mukesh Ambani, you could be a Elon Musk, irrespective of who you are, there is one resource that all of us have exactly in the same quantity. Where even Mukesh Ambani or Elon Musk does not have even 1% more than you and I do. What is that resource? Time. Right? Wonderful. Who said that? Wonderful. So time is a resource that all of us have in equal proportion. We have 24 hours of it per day. Elon Musk doesn't have 1 minute more than I do, or you do. Right? Now let's look at how we use this 24 hours. Right? Approximately 8 hours we sleep. Can AI do the sleeping for us? Doesn't make sense. We have to do our own sleeping. Our body needs to recover. We cannot outsource that to AI any day. So that 8 hours is something we have to do. We can't outsource it to AI. Right? We do some activities that are life sustaining. For example, we cook food. We eat. We boil water. We drink the water. Right? Of course, the actual eating of food and drinking of water we have to do. The cooking of food, is it something that AI can do for us? At least theoretically, yes. I mean, maybe pragmatic examples of it have not yet, there are some people who are experimenting with machines that make dosha and idli and chapati and whatnot. Okay. Now suppose, and of course that we work, or in your case, your students, you go to college, and you spend 7-8 hours or whatever there. Okay. And after all that, after the sleep part is taken care of, after the life-sustaining activities like eating and drinking water, etc. are taken care of, after our day job is taken care of, whether it's professionals who are working in the industry, whether it's students going to a college, after your day activities taken care of, if you have time left, generally you will do some leisure activity, isn't it? You might like to paint, for example. You might like to write a poem, for example. Now the funny thing about Industry 5.0 where we stand today, it seems like AI can take care of painting for us. Midjourney can do it for you. It seems like AI can write a poem for you. Right? Any of your Claude or Gemini or ChatGPT can write a poem. Just give it a prompt, it will give you a poem. Okay. So funnily, it seems like AI is able to do things that you would otherwise enjoy doing, which is supposed to be leisure and creative for you. AI is not yet helping you in things that are very rudimentary, like cooking food, washing clothes. Okay, you have washing machines, but washing machines are still very mechanical and electronic. You don't really have a smart AI system that figures out how to wash clothes, how to fold them, and stuff like that. Okay. So one way that I look at human centricity, okay, is that all these revolutions that you've started seeing around you in terms of large language models, etc., is just the starting point. We have not yet started breaking through the real use cases that will make a difference in your life and mine. Right? And it is only when we can start, when the AI systems evolve to a level where they start automating rudimentary activities of life, cooking food, washing clothes, taking care of home chores, or similar things at work as well. There's a lot of rudimentary things that all of us do at work beyond the creative part. So unfortunately, what's happening is that AI seems to have taken a lead in the creative part and is still slightly behind in the rule-based or the algorithmic, rudimentary stuff that needs to be taken care of. Okay. So one way of looking at human centricity is to look at whatever is happening in the AI world right now, the data world right now, as really building blocks. Okay. It is not that because ChatGPT has come, that's the end of AI. And believe me, ChatGPT is not going to get us to what is called the AGI stage. the artificial general intelligence stage. To go from where we are today to go to the AGI stage, we need to evolve systems to a level where they can solve meaningful problems on a day-to-day basis and not just fancy creative problems like creating tech or human centricity.
Thanks a lot, Vinod. So let's move to Manjunath, because Manjunath, again, wear your marketing hat, forget your telecom thing for some time. But what do you think about human centricity? Because marketing guys are loud, people, right? So can you share some thoughts?
First of all, he has given a nice note that we are loud. We need to be loud, right? Okay. So he was giving one example while standing. What is the best example which you can think of when it comes to the best marketing which can be done? For example, you all use Insta, right? Many of you, right? Also might be YouTube Shorts kind of a stuff. We will be keep scrolling. Everybody will be keep scrolling. That's okay, fine. Does that matter to me as a company? If you are scrolling something, no, it doesn't matter to me, right? Where does that marketing angle come? Just by your scrolling methodology. If I could draw something and then I could sell some lipsticks to you. If I can sell some makeup kits to you, okay, I will not get into the main part at all. Okay, so that is where I have been successful, right? That is the context which AI is speaking. Okay, let me tell you one what happened yesterday night. Yesterday night I was just brushing through what could industry 5.0 can do and all these things, because many use cases, as he rightly said. I was discussing same thing with my daughter and I was surprised. I said that see, there are complex medical equipments today. You don't have to do anything for a complex operations. You need a doctor need not be there, and then everything can be done and all. And she asked me what technology did Industry 4.0 was using. Actually, she was knowing about Industry 4.0, that itself is fine. I said artificial intelligence was there. Then she said, there is no need of human being. Then there is no point of Industry 5.0 at all, because the machines are conducting the operations to you, complex operations. So that pushed me into a critical thinking. Where is that the human being? Then I really did some research as to understand where is that Industry 5.0 they are trying to bring it. Because as I told you in the first my introduction, that every stages when it was born, it was the need of the hour. Human centricity is the need of the hour. Because in Industry 4.0, people were considered to make asset to the employer, to the society. They had to create the asset. Here in Industry 5.0, we are considering employees, those who are contributing as assets. Look at the difference. And when we are creating them as assets, we might ask, what does employer will get? If I consider my employees as asset, okay, what will I get? Today, that is the challenge which human-centric thing is trying to address. For example, what it is trying to address is that when it becomes human-centric, that is when they contribute more. That is the understanding of Industry 5.0. I hope the point is very clear. From equipment, we have moved to the personalized approach, where if my employee is happy, if my employee is contented, he will do a more profitable job for me. He will be I will be taking care of him as an asset, and he will be doing. Okay, I will end this note with with the answer which I found to that medical equipment thing, the operations thing. Okay, AI is already there. Equipments are conducting this thing. Then what is the role of the doctor there? What is the role of the experts there? Because she only told Appa, you're wrong, because AI was already there in 4.0. Then where is the context? Then I went through, and then it said there could be many complex situations which can come, because you know human nerves are innumerous. Okay, till if you understand, we have not even cracked 20% of the whole human body with this kind of a medical improvements, right? So there can be situations. So what does AI will do? AI will throw up 3-4 situations to a doctor and say that, doctor, you can do this, and this in this situation. Please take a call. I hope you got the point, right? So that is the human centricity which we are trying to discuss, right? So I am saying about the niche, but it holds good in any interface. So what we have to understand is that this approach today in 5.0 is a personalized approach. It's a human being kept as center, because the whole 5.0 is trying to create a value job. Unlike the previous era, we are trying to create a people with niche skills in 5.0. These things we have to keep it in mind, right?
Good.
I hope I answered.
Thanks a lot, Manjura. So we'll still stay with human centricity, and I like the way Shaheen put it, like keep a person in the middle when you build technology and product and so on. So Sridhar, from your point of view, how do you view human centricity, because you are working more in a B2B, context, and
So, first of all, I was trying to link what Manjunath was saying, right? And I think it's kind of links into what I do. In fact, interestingly, in the last 3 years, in my role where I manage IT infrastructure for global clients, it's not so much about do we manage the technology well. It's actually now focused on something called experience management, where we are focusing on is the consumers of that, the employees of those companies. Are we enabling them to do what they're supposed to do, whatever their role is? And that is where the human centricity for me comes into play, that ultimately it's all about us. Machines are not there, or AI is not there as a means to an end. It's actually ultimately to serve humans. I'll give you some examples, so hopefully it brings it to life. And very simple examples. I was just thinking, for example, I recall my college days, the school days, and in being studied in Bangalore, and I remember the time when we had to go for bus passes. The BMTC bus passes now, and I'll just compare that for you. I remember I studied in St. Joseph's Indian High School, and I had to take 2 buses from where I used to live to there. And I still remember every month it was a routine that in Majestic near the Upalpet police station there used to be a small dingy counter. And after school I had to wait there for at least 1 hour to get my monthly bus pass. Okay? I used to wait every month. This was a ritual, and unfortunately they used to give only for 1 month. And sometimes this exception is to give for 2 months, and that day is like a lottery if you get for 2 months. But it used to take me 1 hour every month to take that bus pass. And if you simply fast forward now if you look at BMTC now, you have on your app, maybe 1 minute before you board the bus, you can actually probably subscribe to that bus. 2 years, 3 years ago, you still had to give your Aadhaar ID or any of this ID and get your daily pass or monthly pass. Now you don't have to see the face of that. You probably don't even know where to get the bus pass, because the bus pass is on your phone right now. This is technology, and I'll come to your point also later. You seem to be most concerned with AI. So the thing is, all of this when you design, and you as budding managers and leaders, firstly, stay away from the hype, right? Stay with the basics. And if you this is one example, right? I'll give you another example. Again, very Bangalore specific I'll give you. Hopefully in the next few months, one of the newer metro lines that is going to open up Hosur Road is supposed to be a driverless train. Right? You must have read about it if you're not read about it. Yeah, so most of the others are all manned, and that particular track or that particular line is supposed to be driverless train. It does not mean that now all the drivers will be phased out. Actually, there's a remote. The driver, instead of sitting in the train, is now sitting probably at a console somewhere. I don't know where the operating console the center is, and managing that. But in the process of designing the driverless train, the first focus, I'm reasonably sure, is about human safety. That's the first thing that it's not so much about at what pace it will go, can I stop the train, can I open the doors or play music or whatever. I don't think that is the first thing the designers should have thought of. The first thing that I thought of is how do I ensure that humans are safe? How can I apply emergency procedures? How can I operate normally? So there are good reasons why, for example, in airports when you go, it's mostly in international airports at this time, but I'm sure it's a matter of time in India. When you commute between terminals, many a time you're riding driverless trains. The reason is they want to take decisions at some time, okay, now this is the peak period, let's increase the frequency. They don't have to go scrambling for drivers who's on a break or a fatigue factor. You're eliminating that. Why? Ultimately, it is for human safety. You want to have human convenience. Like the bus example I gave, it's out of convenience it has come to us, right? I don't know how many of you have last visited a bank to withdraw money. I don't recall when I have last visited a bank in years to withdraw whatever, even 10 rupees, 100 rupees, right? Because now, like he said, there's the whole facility of ATMs, your electronic transfers. At some point in time, a lot of things also going to any industry, be it anything you want, right? You have no convenience of ordering from home just for everything, right? So you can sit anywhere else in the world, you can even design your home, you can get somebody to build that house, you can monitor the progress of that house or building or office or whatever you're doing. Like the most of the colleagues I work with, I have not met them in person. But I know their entire lives. I work with them day in and day out. The video conferencing has made my life, made us connect much more. So, what companies or industry 5.0 is doing is to make our lives better at the end of the day. Some specific types of roles and jobs might change flavor from one flavor to something else. It doesn't mean it is disappearing, right? So like I said, like have you think the number of bank jobs have come down in India after ATMs from how many years now? 20 years or something. So do you think the number of jobs there are probably many more vacancies in banks than anywhere else now? Because you need people to adapt to new requirements. Our requirements are changing. Today we get annoyed if your food is not delivered in the 10th minute by any of the ordering services, right? So your requirements have changed and technology is changing, and we as leaders and you as budding leaders should not get sucked into a smaller part of it. Look at a little bit the bigger picture. There are newer avenues to break, and that's where I feel doing Centricity.
Thanks a lot, Sridhar. Okay, so one of the key things we talk about human centricity is, I think a lot of great examples came that we want to deliver great consumer experience, customer experience. All of us are experiencing that right now. And Industry 5.0 also says, hey, don't think only customer experience, but also think about your own people's experience. I think Manjunath spoke a lot about that. And you are all budding leaders. When you get into corporations, big companies, small companies, run your own company, doesn't matter. Your people have to be taken care of. And they have to be treated as people. That's what Industry 5.0 says. Right? So you take care of people, make sure that the people are motivated, make sure that people can find their purpose, can realize their dreams, and then they will do good for your company. That's one of the key things which Industry 5.0 talks about. Right? So, with that, I think we have spoken almost 45 minutes. One of the other important leadership skills and manager skills which we talk about, including active listening and paying attention, etc., is what we call as power of questions. How many of you have heard power of questions? You have heard power, right? Power, superpower, power, and you have heard questions. Yeah? So you're just putting together. And unfortunately, so far, I think it's only your profs who ask questions. Isn't it? And you keep giving answers. Now we'll switch. So now you need to ask questions. Yeah, is that okay? You need to ask questions. So if you can organize maybe a couple of mics. Who will be the first person to ask the first question? First question. Abhishek is dominating this room, so let's wait for some time. Oh, Abhishek? No. Okay. Okay, anybody wants to ask the first question? Yeah? Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Chetan. Actually, I need to ask a question, Sridhar sir.
Yeah.
Sir, how is Accenture leveraging AI and machine learning to keep ahead in the competition in the industry?
Okay, good.
Okay. No, I see every company, whether it's us or Accenture or anybody else, is heavily invested in AI. In multiple ways. Obviously, we are looking at it for our clients, because obviously we are running it for, we are in the business, we are in the commercial business. So we are looking at every single way how AI is tapped, whether it is internal as well as to how we use AI for our internal operations, for HR, for finance, for logistics and all of that. But also obviously from a client's perspective, in terms of like in the space that I work with, we look at how let's say the contact center business can be automated, how artificial intelligence can be adapted to deliver a better client experience, or how infrastructure is managed, how you can detect outages, how you can prevent failures. For example, I gave the example, it's not something that's directly from my company, but this is a technology. I mentioned about this driverless train, right? So AI plays a big part in that as well. And you need to understand, not just saying, okay, there is an impediment on the track, now stop the train, but you also have to sense that I think there's something else going wrong, because this is not normal. So you are continuously evaluating data, you are evaluating symptoms, you are also evaluating human input. That somebody is pressing maybe an emergency stop, a stop button or a function in the train. You are continuously evaluating all of that, much like what Vinod was mentioning about how you are scanning ATM videos to detect patterns. I can go on for any length of time on this, but not just as a company, but as an industry, AI is real, but is it the only thing way forward? No, it's actually one of our enablers to do what we are focusing on better. So, and we have to embrace it. If we stand outside and say AI is evil, sooner or later we'll catch up. But all of us are actually experiencing AI in some way. Like Dr. Prasad mentioned about Amazon as an example. Right? It is using some machine learning, and not necessarily AI in some cases. But you are using that learning to actually predict what you want to do next. So in that sense, AI is used just about everywhere now, and it will evolve. It is also there are so many. I think it was the Manjunath who asked the question. Examples of AI. How have you experienced? Right now, you have AI which you can generate. You can make photographs sing. You can. You have all these fun things you can do, or you can just throw in a recording like this. and you can get a transcript down. Or you can also say that somebody was angry during this phase, or somebody was not being genuine during this part of that. It's all coming out of those kind of learning. So in that sense, you're leveraging for you're taking better decisions.
Okay, another question?
Sir,
Yeah.
I have a question. I'm Assistant Professor Bharat from Dayanand Sagar Academy of Technology and Management. At one point of time, at this time, we have one issue, that is population explosion, where the people are thinking about getting jobs. Where at another side, we are moving towards Industry 5.0, which requires smaller enterprises to make it successful. So now, how will you think of shifting mindset of people? How the issue has to be addressed? Because people are thinking about getting employment, and Industry 5.0 requires smaller enterprises to make it successful.
Yeah, okay, maybe I can take then we'll. So, see, I think one of the key elements of 5.0, if you notice, is sustainability. And sustainability is how businesses can be responsible towards environment. How businesses can be responsible towards environment means, can I run a business where I can take resources from the so-called environment, earth, but I also give back. Yeah, you heard a lot of companies doing net zero. Means what? If I consume some water, then am I also being able to contribute back? Am I running green buildings? Am I running an efficient operation in terms of use less resources? Right? So sustainability is something which is extremely an important pillar in 5.0. Right? So a lot of companies are taking these steps, and they publish in their annual reports, right? What are they doing? Maybe, like we should give.
No, I want to extend what you said, right? See, as long as there are human beings, there will be jobs. Okay? So, you have more human beings, you need space, you need buildings, you need to move around, you need your entertainment, you need basic human living. So, but the nature of these jobs, or the requirements of this changes, right? Like you no longer go and fill forms in many places, but it is already taken over by you already know your profile, you can already fill it. So I think the maturity of the jobs are going on. That's what I would say. So if you see, you take very simple examples. You take, I will not take any specific brand name, but if you take any food ordering app today, right? They are not delivering only food today. They are already delivering groceries. Some of them are saying, since I have a person who's coming to your house, I will also take your parcel and deliver it to anybody else you want to give. So the nature of jobs have changed. The jobs are not getting eliminated. But then there is also somebody who's thriving on that. Like you see SIM card, right? It was a huge thing from here on Manjunath. We can talk for hours I think on that. Every corner you went, you used to get SIM cards now. Right? You just walk around, you free SIM card, all of that is happening. So the new, some traditional classic, okay, is there a tailor job that somebody is opening a passbook? I don't think, how many of you have a passbook here? Few of you have, right? For whatever reason, I want to know why you have a passbook. Okay, so I don't have a passbook. Okay, so some of the things go away. So it's like a maturity curve. The job nature is changing, and this is where you are in a privileged position, all of you. You are in the cusp of that technology change or the maturity change which is happening. And this is where all of you have to move towards changing the perception of what I want to do next. Your classic jobs are gone in that sense, right? But today, if you see, even if I take a taxi driver today, right? He or she is not just doing that. Some of them have been very enterprising, particularly you saw during COVID also. some of these drivers were not getting their routine, whatever they used to do because nobody was traveling. But they switched to delivering food. They switched to delivering, medicines or emergency services. So a lot of people adapted to that. That is the adaptation that all of us need, and you are particularly in that phase right now. What you're learning and what you're going to do are going to be significantly different. That's what I think.
Thanks a lot, Sridhar. Okay, so there seems to be a lot of murmur, right? Noise going on. So, how much time do we have? Is it some indication that okay, it's like time for lunch? Or? Yes. No.
Question.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Nikita. Sir, my question is how big data works in today's data analysis and like the age revision.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Vinod is the right person to answer.
Okay, it's a very broad question that you've asked. How does big data work? Okay. So, so let's think of it this way, right? What is big data? Yeah, we all generate data, right? So every activity that we do, you're on your phone, you're in your classroom doing something, writing assignment, all that is data. Yeah. When do you call it big data? Like you call it big data when three things come together, right? The three B's come together. Have you, those of you who are studying analytics, have you studied what are the three B's of big data? Give me a shout if you have studied the three B's of velocity, yes, volume, veracity, yeah. So you have velocity, you have volume, and on top of this, velocity and volume is easy. You can create junk data at velocity and volume very easily. What is difficult is having velocity and volume, but then having the veracity of data as well. So that's the classical challenge of big data. Now, as I said, your question was very broad-based, but if you're asking me, how big data is implemented in organizations, I feel that there are two. If you're somebody who wants to get into big data or data in general, I feel that there are two approaches that you need to focus on. One is the engineering approach. So you have data engineering problems to solve. How do you store data at scale? How do you retrieve data at scale? So at some point of time, you have to go from, let's say, simple data storage solutions like spreadsheets to databases, and then you have to go beyond classical databases to distributed databases, the Hadoops of the world, the Sparks and Kafkas, streaming systems, etc. coming. So that's one way that you can get into big data. Just to focus on the engineering part of it. How do you store data at scale? How do you access, retrieve data at scale? How do you search for data at scale, etc. But funnily enough, if you're not somebody who's not everybody is fascinated about data engineering. Not everybody wants to be a deep techie. Many of your management students might not want to become a deep techie in your career necessarily. If you don't want to be a deep techie, there is another approach to studying about data, big data, all of it, which is to study data from the perspective of the constraints of data. Right? And there are three primary constraints of data, irrespective of whether you're working in a small data system or a large data system. There are three primary constraints of data, which are sufficiency, reliability, and validity. Whatever data that you have, is that sufficient to solve the problem that you're trying to solve? Okay. Is the data reliable? If I keep querying the data again and again, will I get the same answer? Is the data valid? Let me give you a very simple example. Okay. So, for example, Manjunath talked about how companies might be interested in finding out whether users are interested in buying a product. We talked about lipsticks and stuff like that. Now imagine that I'm a company that sells cars, right? And I'm interested in finding out, let's say there is a particular mid-segment or high-end car that's being offered in the market next month, and I'm interested in finding out how many people will be interested in buying my car. Okay. Now there are many factors. People look at the brand of the car, the make, the model, and all that. But one of the factors could also be affordability. Depending upon how the car is priced, how many people can afford it, and as a company, a piece of data that I might be interested in, if I'm introducing the car in Bangalore, for example, and let's say the car is priced at 10 lakhs. as an example. So I need to find out, for example, if I have access to income data of people. Now that gives me an idea of how many people can potentially afford this car, right? So income, when I look at income as a data point, right, is a very valid data point for predicting whether people are going to buy my car or not. Of course, it's not the only data point because people have other preferences also, but income is an important data point because that covers the affordability aspect. Okay. But you look at another company which is, let's say, selling pacemakers. You know what pacemakers are? Right? It's a device that fits into your heart, and if your heart is not capable of generating the electrical impulses the way it is supposed to be, it does the correction automatically. Now, a pacemaker is also an expensive device. It may cost, I don't know the exact price, but I'm assuming that it costs upwards of 10 lakhs. Okay. And therefore, to buy a pacemaker also, income is an important factor, isn't it? Whether I can afford a pacemaker or not. But if I use income as a predictor, let's say I'm introducing pacemakers into the market, and I use income as a predictor for figuring out how many people will buy pacemakers, I'm going to go wrong. Because whether or not somebody buys a pacemaker or not does not depend upon how much money they make. It depends upon whether they have a heart condition that requires a pacemaker. And even if I don't make enough money, I'll try to beg, borrow, steal if my life depends upon it. Okay. So there are two ways as I said you can approach data in general and big data in specific. One comes from the data engineering angle, how to store, how to retrieve at scale, etc. The second comes from this functional angle, which is understand the data in your industry. Right? Understand what data is relevant to your industry, how do you look at validity, how do you look at reliability, how do you look at sufficiency of data, and that's a very functional approach. And for those of you who don't intend to pursue a career in tech, right, I would really recommend one way to get into big data is to get in from the domain angle. Understand the domain that you're getting into, whether it's finance or marketing, sports, whatever be the domain, you need to understand how data operates in that domain. That's a very good way to get into big data as well.
Thanks a lot, Vinod.
Dr. Vinay has a question.
Yeah, now we'll give a chance to, go ahead.
Sir, my question is to Manjunath sir.
Yeah.
Sir, give an example of doctor sir. Means AI suggest doctor to work on analyze. Means I connect this to my finance sir. Is AI give a suggestion of finance analyst sir. Is my finance as a financial analyst they will collect the previous year data and give a suggestion. Is this work is done by AI? What is the means my job will be means what is the use of this transaction? This transaction help for MBA students, mainly not technical students.
Fantastic question. Okay, very odd question. So I try to answer this in a different way. Okay. For example, we all, when the industrial revolution started with 1.0, we all started with something with the manufacturing, right? Everybody started with manufacturing, worldwide I'm saying, okay? You just look at the difference between South Korea and what India is today, okay? South Korea is the best example which anybody can take, okay? If somebody is leading by example of Industry 5.0, it is South Korea, right? The resilience, sustainability part we did not touch upon, but I will tell you what that means, okay? A COVID-like situation comes up, okay? Everything is disrupted. Your logistics is disrupted, your SCM is disrupted, everything is disrupted. Can data alone help? Data cannot help, right? So the country as such has to be resilient, right? For example, oil situation came in, okay, where we had to buy oil from a different country where the world was not along our side, right? So what we did, we also managed to get 50% of the oil from the country which whole world said no, but still that shows our resilience as a country. I'm not going into the political part of it, right? So first of all, as a young mind, please believe and please be very, very assured that everybody has a job. Everybody has a job for sure. So don't worry about that at all. Second thing, how can you guarantee my job is secured or whatever? Of course, South Korea example I took, right? From manufacturing, today if you see, all their workers have moved which is human level. I can afford 80 lakhs, yeah. I want to spend. So this is the personalization which I am saying. When we say industry 5.0, please don't restrict that for industry as well. Okay. This falls at an individual level also, it is at a country level also, it is at an industry level also. Right? So the personalization becomes more important going forward because there are a lot of data which is junk. Artificial intelligence can always throw up so many data to me because from the big data I have to take out some data and then I give it to you. The personalization touch happens only when a human intervention is there. That is where the personalization which we are speaking about. Right? For example, if you consider three kind of car category, my affordability is all the three categories. For example, I can buy Maruti also, Baleno also, I can buy the next level Audi also, I can buy Mercedes Benz also. But am I interested to buy? I am only interested to buy Baleno bus. I am not interested to buy BMW. So the personalization touch comes only when there is a human mind involved. That is what the personalization in AI which we are discussing here in Industry 5.0. Hope I have answered.
Okay, thanks a lot, Manjuna. So we will take one last question, okay? Oh my God, so many raised hands. Okay, so yeah.
Yes, now we are talking about that shifting to 4.0.
Introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Rachna from first year MBA. So I have a question that we are shifting to 4.0 to 5.0. But nowadays corporate employees are undergoing the stress and they couldn't manage their personal life also. But in some conference like Narayan Murthy sir said that employees should work for 12 hours. So they have to work for 12 hours. But how does it impact on an employee? Is this very necessary to work? Because like all the things are being done through AI, but is it really necessary to work for 12 hours?
Okay, how many of you agree that you have to work 12 hours a day? 12 hours a day. So you got your answer. No, so let's ask Vinod what he thinks.
I mean, I don't want to get into the 12 hours per day, 70 hours debate, etc. because that's a tough debate to get into. Okay. But without getting into the specifics of that number, right? If you're a young person entering the professional arena in the near future, I will tell you honestly, based on my 25 years of experience, that there is no shortcut to hard work. Hard work is the only way that you're going to succeed, no matter what kind of skill, what kind of tools you have. I mean, you can say that you have AI tools and all of that. I'll give you a simple example, right? So, all of you write assignments?
Yes, sir.
Yeah? Do you use ChatGPT for assignments or not?
Yes, sir.
So let's be honest, we all do.
Yes,
right? I give you a 10-page assignment to write, right? ChatGPT can write it for you in 2 minutes and give it back to you. If you have to spend 2 minutes just tuning the prompt. You prompt once, it will give you an output. Output is not perfect, you prompt again. It will give you the output, right? It sounds like it's done the job for you and you don't need to work hard anymore. But the point is, if you move into a system where ChatGPT is writing all your assignments, and believe me, if you do that, you end up in a system where your teachers are using ChatGPT to correct your assignments as well, right? And therefore, you are not taking anything away at the end of the day, right? So, just because there are going to be AI tools that make life easy for you, for example, to research an assignment or write an assignment, etc., does not mean the requirement for hard work when you work on the assignment is going away. What it does mean is your requirement for hard work shifts. I mean, all of my fellow panelists here will agree that 20 years back when we used to write assignments, the hard work was involved in going to the library, finding the right reference book, pouring through the reference book and finding the right extracts and stuff like that. That is where the hard work was. Now that part of it is taken care of you. know, you ask ChatGPT to give you references, it will give you references nicely summarized in a couple of minutes. Okay. Where you need to put the hard work is shifting. Right? So now you need to shift your hard work to really use the references that ChatGPT gives you, the summary that ChatGPT gives you, to really go a little deeper and form up your own understanding, right? To probably think of specific examples that you can contextualize with, etc. So the requirement for hard work is not going to go away. I mean, pick your own healthy choice in terms of number of hours. I'm not going to dictate that you have to work so many hours every week. That's a healthy choice that every person has to bring in. But believe me, it's no different 20 years back, it's no different today. There is not going to be a shortcut for you to succeed in your career other than hard work. Right? So hard work is mandatory.
Okay, so thanks a lot, Vinod, for that. Okay, looking at the enthusiasm and so on, okay, really one last question. Okay, yeah. Hey, you already asked a question, right? Oh no.
Since you said it's the last question, my question is can I ask 3 questions together?
One round of applause. Okay, please go ahead.
Question is about AI. The question is about AI. Can AI match human thinking level? If it is yes, then would it be a problem to human? That is my first question. And second question is Sridhar sir said about that jobs are getting increased. Sir, don't mind me asking the same question. The thing is what I feel personally, what I feel is jobs are getting increased. It is a balance. In sense new jobs are getting increased, whereas the old jobs are getting cut. In sense it is going in a balanced way. I don't feel so as far as my knowledge, I don't feel so the jobs are getting increased. It's less fully balanced. It is still a balanced level. And one more, the third question is, sir, you said everyone will be getting a job. I believe everyone will get a job, but if they are ready to work for it, in sense if they are ready to upskill themselves for it, that is what you can answer this.
Okay.
I think your third question had the answer itself, right? So if you're willing to adapt, you will find a job. Now coming to your second question, going to the reverse order. All of us, I met all of them today, so I have no background here of them. I'm sure each one of them here, including me, are looking for more people in our respective roles. We're looking for people to do different things. We're looking for people both in volume and also quality. So from that perspective, I don't think jobs are gone away. Certain types of jobs will go away. Certain things we don't need to do now. Right? Previously, if you had to book a taxi, you had to know somebody in the neighbor, some friend will know somebody, and then arrange a taxi to come at 3 o'clock and all that. You don't have to do that now. So you have, if you link this topic here, right, you have convenience brought to you because of human centricity. That is creating new roles. And based on these, like, for example, what Vinod is doing, right? He started off with something else he did. But then he was using data as his niche area. He's finding different clients in different places how to leverage it and guide people and guide. So yeah, I'm sure he's also looking for people who is willing for that. None of us is saying that I don't need anybody, I'm excessively staffed today. Nobody is saying this. If you are not looking, somebody else is looking, somebody else in the same field is looking. So there's a lot of, I know there's a lot of anxiety, you being graduates, budding graduates, saying that, okay, will I find a job? And if I had to wrap it up, I would say that, linked to what Vinod and all of us have said here, right? Spend time specializing in at least one or two things. Go into that domain, whatever it is, whatever interests you. It doesn't have to be technology. It can be people related. It could be, some other, not even engineering, a lot of your finance. Focus on finance. Doesn't matter what domain it is. Spend time going to the depth of the subject. Rather than getting, now I can't say Wikipedia now because Wikipedia seems old. Let's say a ChatGPT level, let me use that language, right? If you just know the right prompts and you feel comfortable, for certain things it's good enough. If you're planning a trip and you're asking ChatGPT what's the best place to see in Hassan, of course it will give you some recommendations, your job is done. But that's okay for certain things. So you need to go into the depth of at least one subject or one domain, whatever. It could be art, by the way. It doesn't have to be in anything. It could be in art, it could be in social science, it could be anything. Go and specialize in one. Start with that target. Don't worry about 100 things. You specialize, you be good in one thing you do. There is no dearth of roles where you can, that's my view.
Thanks a lot, Sridhar. So maybe, is this the right time to just, hear from Vinod and Manjunath on, let's say about 30 seconds, maybe one minute, some specific advice to the young leaders, would-be managers, what do you think?
I just want to summarize, a lot of things have been said by Sridhar, Manjunath and everybody. Look, I'll just summarize by re-emphasizing 2 or 3 things. Okay, one, I absolutely agree with what's being said, that the number of jobs is not decreasing, number of jobs is actually increasing. And you can look all around you for evidence of that. Technology is not reducing jobs. Technology is actually increasing jobs. A classic example of that, look at, all around you, Uber drivers, Ola drivers, people doing Swiggy delivery, Zomato delivery, Dunzo, Zepto, whatnot. None of these jobs existed 10 years back. And these are not just the low-end jobs. When you look at somebody doing a Swiggy delivery, that sounds like a low-end job. But for every 50 or 100 people doing a Swiggy delivery, there is also somebody managing them. There is also somebody managing a warehouse. There is somebody who's taking care of the technology behind it. There is somebody taking care of the finance behind it. So one of the visible jobs that technology has created, which we can all see, logistics, aggregation, cabs, whatever. What technology has also created is a lot of invisible jobs that you and I don't see every day, but you can see it if you go to their back offices, right? So I recently did some work with CureFit, the parent company of Cult Gyms, right? The number of jobs that are created for them, it's not just the trainers in their Cult center, it's the people who train the trainers, it's the people who manage their accounting, who manage their logistics. There's a huge number of jobs that are being created in every spectrum. So please do not worry about technology changing, taking away jobs. Technology will shift jobs, like Sridhar absolutely said. So you have to be mindful of the shift. And I feel the easiest way to be mindful of the shift is really don't become a slave to technology. Right? I give you an example of assignments. Sure, you can submit an assignment by allowing ChatGPT to do it for you. You have made yourself redundant if you do that. Right? Don't become a slave to technology. Use technology. Absolutely use ChatGPT for your assignments. Nothing wrong with it. You have to use it. Because if you don't use it, you're not going to be competitive in today's world. Okay. But your value comes in when you can take that output of ChatGPT and say, how can I now add my value on top of that? If you're just going to parrot out whatever ChatGPT has given you and submit that, you have made yourself redundant in the process. So the only request that I have is 2 things. One, believe that the number of jobs is increasing. There is enough employment available out there for all of you. Okay. But B, if you want to remain employed, keep learning. Don't become a slave to technology. Use technology, no doubt, but keep adding your individual value on top of that. And that's what human centricity is all about. And as long as you can do that, you will remain relevant in the marketplace.
Thank you, Vinod.
Okay. Am I audible? Now anybody using 3G phones? 3G? None of you. So there lies the answer, From 2G we have moved to 4G, but where is 3G today? 3G doesn't exist. Why 3G doesn't exist? Because 3G is obsolete because by itself, like that, all of them, what they said is that, please understand, this question also I am trying to answer, I might need to upskill myself. What if I cannot upskill? Okay. Upskilling does not mean, because Sridhar answered it in his long this thing which he said discussion. You need not be upskilling yourself in finance. 5 years down the line, you will understand that I am not cut for finance. I am a marketing guy. I'm an engineer, I run a company, I know more of a finance than technical stuff. After 20 years I have realized. You will realize it after 5 years. So this upskilling will keep happening. Like your inside, it will be keep happening. It's not that I have done that some course and then I have upskilled myself. Okay? None of us have become upskilled like that, we did any course. If you ask, everybody would say that. Okay? It will automatically happen. So be rest assured that upskilling has to happen. Everybody has done that. That's how human has evolved. Right? Today we all use gas stoves. Do we use chula today? No, we don't use. Right? So this upskilling will happen naturally. Believe that, I will adapt myself. I will coexist with AI. This thing which first of all you carry the right attitude that I will get a job for sure. This one thing has to be there in your mind. Okay? Younger minds. Never have a doubt that I will not get a job. I might not get campus placed. I realized after my campus placement, after 2 years, I realized what a mistake I did after getting into campus. I would have been different. Right? I'm not joking. I would have not become an entrepreneur if I would have stayed with my campus and I would have continued my campus job. Right? So please believe that always that I'm cut for some better job, and this is also a message from Industry 5.0 also. 5.0 existed because human-centric stuff, right? There are so many jobs, dearth of jobs, and you also mentioned the quality. We always struggle to get quality engineers, quality people, right? So you will have one or the other quality which will fit the employment or which will fit the entrepreneurship, and then you will definitely succeed. That you keep it in mind and then move forward. Even artificial intelligence or whichever intelligence comes, like 7G is also coming for all of you. I'm just telling you, right? Nothing can shackle you. You will only aid, you will only support those technologies because you are the one who is creating, right? So be confident and be positive, right?
Thanks a lot, Manjunath. So I think we have kind of overshot the time. So I think it goes back to even the first session, Mr. Srikanth. He spoke a lot about mindset, skill set, etc. You heard from all the esteemed colleagues here how you can be better prepared. All you can do is just be better prepared so that you can face your whatever life challenges and embrace them. One of the key things is definitely embrace technology. You cannot say I don't love technology. So you have to embrace technology. So with that, I would like to thank Sridhar, Vinod, and Manjunath. So one round of applause for all the. And of course, we cannot forget you, right? I think a lot of engagement, a lot of questions. So one round of applause for all of you. Okay, thank you.